Oh, real quick, I know we already hit this, but a little update for Tesla. I was reading earlier was that Tesla that it predicted that it'll hit $100 billion market cap milestone within the next 2 months, and that's if the value of Tesla's closing stock price continues near the levels that it's seen in late April, um, that's what we can see, and then after Tesla certifies the 100 billion market cap, then Elon Musk would have the option to buy about 1.7 million shares at about $350 each share, and then selling them at Tuesday's prices would mean that that'd be a profit around 725 million for Elon Musk. So
Which is crazy.
a little
And he's
insight
not.
about how that works for the
Wow.
dynamic of that CEO.
It's crazy how many more like Teslas there are just out on the road. Like if you think about it, like what is it, like 5 years ago? I don't think I ever saw a Tesla, and now it's like I see Teslas every time I go out and drive.
Dude, it's an interesting company. I mean, they've had ups and downs and interesting ways of funding, and I mean, there was a point where a lot of people I think thought that Tesla would have just gone down the tube when they were trying to ramp up the Model 3 production, and I think Elon Musk was saying that they're literally like weeks from the end of the company.
Yeah, I read when I was reading. I didn't read the whole book, but I was reading part of Elon Musk's like biography or whatever, and like they were talking about the early stages of the company, and I found it amazing that like literally no one supported the idea of electric cars. Like there's just these dropouts that he found were working on it, and like no one would take this car. And finally, Elon came around and was like, he just looked long term in the future, like how these electric cars could impact the world, and he started to invest in the company. And like there were a few times where it almost completely crashed, but obviously they made it out of that.
Yeah, it's what you're going to find in the business world. There's a lot of people that are going to shoot you down, especially when you have new ideas that go against the status quo.
Oh yeah, when you're like a disruptor, especially in the car market, where like there's like 4 car companies that really have almost a monopoly on America, at least. Like Ford, Cadillac. I mean, maybe not Cadillac, but Subaru,
General Motors.
Like those companies. And when you start messing with them, and they're like old money, there's always going to be some drawbacks for these new disruptors. But I think Tesla's done a great job of doing that. And you both have Tesla cars in your family, so I guess you guys are like the frontline investors for that.
Yeah, my dad. It's kind of funny because I mess with him because he bought the Tesla, but he actually doesn't own any of Tesla's stock. So I don't know. I just say I'm like the owner of his car. Honestly, it's funny.
In a way, yeah, you're right.
Speaking of like the Ford and like Cadillac, what kind of was crazy to me is that I thought all these big companies with all the money they have would be able to like change and kind of make their own electric cars that would be successful, but that really kind of hasn't happened. There haven't been many cars that have been able to compete with Tesla in the electric market.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I think scaling is like the biggest thing for these companies because they're going from making like these combustion engines to batteries. Like that's so different for them. But it might be hard. That's why Tesla is such a good investment because like while these other companies are playing catch up, Tesla has a huge advance on this market. But I think a few car companies like Hyundai, and I know Porsche came out with like a new Cayenne that's all electric. Audi has one. Honda, Subaru, they've always had an electric car, I think. But yeah.
Yo, the weird thing though is that when it comes to Tesla, since they are like the new kids on the block and have a lot of eyes on them, whenever there's a problem or like there's like a Tesla car accident, it's always like such a big deal, and they always highlight that it's a Tesla as opposed to Ford crashed or whatever. And it's like it's so weird how they always try to expose Tesla, the little things. Like even in the long overall, they probably don't have that many crashes. When it has like little ones, they make a big deal out of it. It's probably just because the new kids.
No, that's so true. When I was like thinking about buying the stock and I was watching all these videos about how I was going to do in the next coming months, I think like half of them were just people like ranting about Tesla and how it's going to fail and literally go out of business. I was like, nah, just look at all the cars on the road. I don't know if I can agree with that.
Yeah, and especially in the last like I think 2 years, they got the new Model Y and what was like the sedan one? Is that the Model S?
Yeah, this is the Model S. There's also the Model 3, and the X is also the bigger one.
What's the one that's coming out like really soon?
Cybertruck.
Who's gonna get one? You gonna get one, Liam?
I mean, Metal, you already got one, so.
No, you getting one?
I don't even know. I'm guessing Marcos already put a down payment.
Did he really?
I think you did.
I go to Menelik's house. This is the first time I'm at his house, and I see all these cars outside. And I'm like, I tell his dad, I'm like, yeah, we have like this red Tesla too. And he's like, yeah, we just purchased the Cybertruck. It's coming in like next year. I was like, oh, oh, that's wild.
That's so hype. Oh my god. Congrats to you guys, man. That's amazing. But I heard how Elon. So the way I think he did it for the Cybertruck is like he got. So I think there's like millions of people who have like put down their $100 to.
Yeah, that's it. It's just putting down $100, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm buying it.
Yeah, but I don't think he had like the money to build it before. So he took however much this money was, and he went to the bank and he's like, look, I have all this money, and then I'm doing a really bad job of explaining this, but basically he like leveraged the money that people are willing, like the payment. Okay, you know what? Never mind.
No. Yeah, it makes sense. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
like that's just kind of how that how his funding kind of works. And I think he even uses the supplemental companies like the Boring Company to get other funding from selling a bunch of flamethrowers to make $1 million or $2 million.
Oh yeah, those flamethrowers. I think they sold out in like hours. It was crazy. And now if you look on eBay, they're like $1,200 for one. It's ridiculous.
Just make one, dude.
Yeah.
One thing I can say is that the closer I look at that Cybertruck, the uglier it gets every time. I've tried so hard to make it look good in my head, but every time I look at it, it just looks weird. I feel like if you're driving that on the highway, I feel like everyone's gonna be staring at you.
But think about it though. Everybody's staring at you. You got the Cybertruck.
But is it good staring though? Are they staring because the car is fire, or just because it's weird looking? That's the thing.
I don't know.
I mean, it's weird because it's different because you haven't seen anything like that before, right?
Never.
Dude, I thought it was a joke when he announced it. I was like, what is this? Like a movie prop or something?
They threw the rock through it or whatever.
Yeah, it didn't work. That's bad.